Okay. Good morning, dear colleagues, dear family and friends of Leo Apostel. The title of my short presentation is 100 Years of Leo Apostel, the need for building bridges among people and among sciences. Yesterday marks exactly 100 years since Leo Apostel was born on September the 4th, 1925. His century is being celebrated at University Ghent and at the Vrije Universiteit Brussel. We started yesterday with this event at University Ghent. Some of you were even presenting at this event. So welcome again at the second day of this event. Apostel embodied a philosophical quest aimed at understanding himself, the world, and above all, others. Especially in today's world, there is more than ever a need to understand both the world and each other. Therefore, we need to build bridges. People often hold different ideas, which are frequently opposed to one another. Building bridges means to endeavor everything possible to get them to talk to each other nonetheless. A key example of this is Leo Apostel, one of the Belgium's greatest philosophers. In 1809, the journal De Nieuwe Maand named him the most influential intellectual of Flanders. In addition to his great scientific achievements, including his contribution to logic, he is best known as a philosopher who is building bridges between different sciences, but also between people with different worldviews, philosophical perspectives, and religions. Apostel began his career at the Université Libre de Bruxelles, where he did his doctoral research with Chaim Peerman and became doctor in philosophy in 1953. After the historical split of the Brussels University, Apostel became professor at the Dutch-speaking part, the Vrije Universiteit Brussel. His scholarly work was shaped by major thinkers of his time. He conducted research in Chicago with Rudolf Carnap, in Geneva with Jean Piaget. In 1957, Apostel became professor at the University of Ghent, where he continued his career. In 1985, Apostel received the Solvay Prize, and he used the associated funds to establish the interdisciplinary center Leo Apostel at the Vrije Universiteit Brussel, our center. He was a philosophical polymath, dedicated to knowledge and understanding, firmly rooted in the tradition of the Enlightenment. His broad vision of research and philosophy led him to bring Rudolf Bohm from the Husserl Institute of the Catholic University in Leuven to the University Ghent, in order to enrich the curriculum with phenomenology, a philosophical school then opposed to the prevailing logical empiricism at Ghent University. He's an open mind. This is how we know Leo Apostel, always seeking connection and dialogue. It was the fragmentation of the sciences and more broadly, the lack of understanding among people that shaped his philosophical agenda. Apostel argued that dialogue among scientists is necessary to tackle complex problems and to create order out of chaos. To achieve this, scientists, and by extension people in general, must develop the ability to communicate and to exchange ideas. Within science, this is called interdisciplinarity or transdisciplinarity, when scholars also communicate beyond their ivory towers. This remains a core activity of the university today, and Apostel was an indispensable pioneer in this regard. Now more than ever, such figures are needed. Apostel was also known as a Freemason, engaged in the spiritual quest of building himself and by extension contributing to humanity as a whole, symbolized as a temple of humanity. Towards the end of his life, he turned to Zen Buddhism, with its emphasis on meditation, something Apostle described as an inner wealth not reserved for the religion alone. In this way, Apostle sought connection and clearly transcended the traditional divide between believers and freethinkers. Maybe some of you will probably remember the historic dialogue between Leo Apostel and theologian Edward Schillebeeks at the Blandijnberg in Ghent University, October 1987. Both philosophers explored each other's idea towards the concept of God and the experience of spirituality. It was the time that Apostle was introducing his idea of atheistic spirituality. Schillebeeks rejected the image of an almighty God and instead envisioned God as a superhuman presence who's always close to the searching person. This meant that the believer, according to Schillebeeks, always has someone for whom he is transparent, someone by whom he is understood, and thus can never be existentially lonely. And therein lies the huge difference with the atheist philosopher Apostle, who, after presenting proofs of the non-existence of God, had to conclude that he walks his path alone, transparent to no one, and therefore existentially lonely. The theme remains pressing today. Humanity continues to struggle with existential loneliness and the difficult quest to turn this earthly veil of tears into a human valley where living together is possible. Until now, humankind has not succeeded, as evidenced by the appalling, inhuman conditions, genocides, war, and acts of violence that persist. Yet, sparks of hope can be found in extraordinary people who carry out small-scale humanitarian projects. And I quote Gospel, John 1.5, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." And I refer to the logo of our Vrije Universiteit Brussel, the sciences, but also the light, defeats the tenebras. This is precisely why we need figures like Leo Apostel, who bridge divides and allow the light to truly triumph. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to the presentations of today's program, which is a variety of research-based presentations, but also testimonials. So I wish you all an interesting and inspiring day, and I will give now the floor to our colleague Francis Heiligen, who is the research director of our center, Leo Apostel. Thank you.